Chapter 26. The Banishment. The idea of renouncing our planet and moving back to Earth became widely acceptable and more convenient than before. All the previously proposed solutions became openly discussed among the people, not overlooking the massive public support it gained. No thanks to the Centaurians, our government was encouraged to finance and boost the progress of my mission. I meant our mission. Our officials gave its success the priority and the importance it axiomatically deserved. They facilitated all the procedures, overcoming all accompanied odds, especially on the returning journey. Project X-PECT became the #1 matter among all other plans and projects, although yet to be publicly announced or discussed. But not for so long, because once I returned with all the necessary information and professionals confirmed positive results, it would go viral. It took me almost 19 months since I started that journey, although I only stayed on Earth for less than 2 months. That was enough time to gather all the information required and record all the observations needed to fill my report to the headquarters. However, for me, that was never enough. I wanted to stay longer. Honestly, if it had been my call, I would have never wanted to leave. During my stay, all my focus and determination were on the studies required for the assignment and its success factors. But it took me only a short time to realize that my real mission extended far beyond that. Meeting with Sam was not accidental. It held an objective between the leaflets of his book, which I was not yet ready to unleash, but I perceived its significance. I needed some more time until I fully understood the whole purpose. Still, I was uncertain if I would ever return to Earth again, as I was unsure if I would even leave it alive. Before setting off from Earth, I had in mind 2 main goals other than the official one. I so much wanted to see where Sam used to live before I departed from Earth. I was hoping to find a lead in his book or any remaining whiffs of the deteriorated civilization. But unfortunately he mentioned nothing, and all the traces were expunged. All the uncertainty I had, together with some bad luck finding Sam's original home, led me to my second goal. I decided to do something imprudent and folly that none of my superiors could have ever approved of had I told them. That perhaps was the main reason I chose to keep it a secret. I made a copy of my handbook and left it there, including details about my journey, all the remarks I collected during my stay, along with Sam's manuscripts about his experience and transformation from an Earthling to a Proximal. I did not know what exactly made me do so, but I thought if I never made it back to Proxima-b, or if we failed to abandon our planet heading to Earth, maybe one day someone else would. Perhaps from another galaxy, or maybe even some other sort of life, other than humans. I had hoped that if some intelligent civilization found this handbook, perhaps our history and experience on both planets would not go in vain. I was disappointed to leave, but this did not subdue my gratitude for my encounter with Sam and his unexpected appearance in my life as a companion, a guide, and a savior. I spent the last few hours on Earth looking around for him, hoping to have a final conversation and farewell. I even called out for him, but fate did not grant me this wish. It deprived me of the last goodbye and a pleasant parting with a best friend. My ship, lying there before my eyes, was ready for launch. It was only a few steps away, a few steps separating me from Proxima-b, taking me away from Earth, away from home. My footsteps were heavy, and my motion was as slow as a wounded, old, exhausted vagabond who hadn't slept or tasted a drop of water in days. I felt that my final way back to my ship took much longer than my entire duration on Earth. Climbing the steps up was even more brutal than reaching the highest peak of an unchallengeable mountain. When I finally stepped inside the ship, it took me several minutes to lock the doors, although it would take just a few seconds. I had to fill my eyes and indulge my memory with what might be perhaps the final look I could have at Earth. I never imagined for a moment that it would be that difficult for me to leave, or that I would feel like a refugee being evicted from his home and heading somewhere unfamiliar to him. The procedure was to initiate the launching sequence, and after leaving the exosphere, I would go then to the deep sleep process, which was programmed to last until I reached Proxima-b. But my frustration led me to do both simultaneously, and once I initiated the launch, I immediately proceeded with the irreversible deep sleep process. And that was when I saw another miracle. Right before I went to sleep, I saw Sam with me on the ship, and he was not alone. Lara was on board,